Another very important person in the 1800s was named Marie Curie. She helped medical sciences and advances greatly. Marie Curie was born on November 7th, 1867 in Warsaw, which was part of the Russian Empire. From childhood, she was remarkable for her prodigious memory, and at the age of 16, she won a gold medal on completion of her secondary education at the Russian Lycée. She died July 4th, 1934, near Salancas, France. Polish-born French physicist, famous for her work on radioactivity, and was a two-time winner of the Nobel Prize with Henri Becquerel and her husband Pierre Curie. She was awarded the 1903 Nobel Prize for Physics. Charles Darwin was born full as Charles Robert Darwin. He was born on February 12, 1809, in Shrewsbury, Shropshire, England. He died on April 19, 1882. He was known for being an English naturalist who proposed a scientific theory of evolution by natural selection. This theory became the foundation of modern evolutionary studies. His theory formed in 1837 to 1833 by himself. His theory formed in 1837 to 1839.
Albert Einstein was a German theoretical physicist who invented the theory of relativity, also known as E equals mc squared. He was born on March 14th in 1879. In his school life, his teachers thought he was mentally handicapped because he couldn't speak fluently at age 9 and he did not have good grades. Einstein became super religious at the age of 12, but that all stopped when he started reading science books. He dropped out of school at 16 years old, but later returned to another school. He excelled in math and physics, but was poor in French, biology, and chemistry. Since he had excelling math scores, he got accepted into a special education high school in Switzerland. 5 years after graduating, Einstein published 5 papers about physics that changed the world of physics. These papers talked about quantum theory, special relativity, and the theory of relativity. These papers were ignored at first until it caught the eye of one physicist named Max Planck. Max Planck got him invited into many conferences, and soon he became big in the physics world. He was offered several positions at several different universities to be the physics teacher. He taught at 4 major universities, and during this time his marriage was failing. Him and his wife Mileva were arguing so much that Einstein ended up cheating on her with his first cousin, Elsa, who he ended up marrying later. In 1921, Einstein was reserved a Nobel Prize in Physics. And then in 1922, he received the prize for his services to theoretical physics and his discovery of the law of photoelectric effect. Einstein changed the way about the knowledge of physics and made an impact on science all over the world. Next, we have Louis Pasteur. Louis Pasteur was a French biologist, microbiologist, and chemist, best known for his discoveries for prevention of diseases and pasteurization. Louis was born on December 27th in 1822 in Dole, France. Louis got his Master of Science degree in 1845 and his doctorate in 1847. A year later, he became the professor of chemistry at the University of Strasbourg. During this time, he married a woman named Mary Laurent, and they had 5 children together, but only 2 lived past their childhood. In 1849, scientists were trying to solve the problem of tartaric acid in fermenting wine. Louis discovered that tartaric acids have 2 different crystals that rotate different through polarized light. This helped scientists to realize that you need to study the shape and structure of a chemical and not just the composition. In 1854, he discovered that organisms and other bacteria were responsible for souring alcohol and milk. In 1865, he discovered microbes were harming silkworms and causing unknown diseases. 3 years later, in 1868, Louis became paralyzed because of a brain stroke. But that didn't stop him from researching and discovering. A little over a decade later, he discovered a vaccine called chicken cholera. On July 6 of 1885, Louis gave his first vaccine to a kid who got bitten by a rabid dog, and it worked. After this, he became very well known. The last person we have is Crawford W. Long. Crawford Long was born on November 1st, 1815. He became a medical student at the University of Pennsylvania and earned his medical degree in 1839. While in medical school, Crawford focused a lot on the study of laughing gas. Many magicians would use this gas on crowds, and it fascinated him. This led him to the discovery of anesthesia. He performed his first surgery while being put under anesthesia on March 30th, 1842. The discovery was kept secret for a while because he wanted to make sure there were no flaws. The National Athletic Medical... I just have one more line. Almost 40 years after his discovery, the National Athletic Medical Association claimed that long discovered anesthesia.